following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbb-radio.com.
Welcome to this edition of NiagaraStuff. This is your boy Stens, and today I'm just babbling with Rich Meranto, the man behind all the buttons and dials over there, producer from Emerge. And today we're really just doing that, just babbling. We have no particular place to go. It's the end. Well, winter's over. It's spring now, I guess.
Finally got some nice weather.
Yeah, end of Easter, end of the shit weather, and things are looking good. Rich
Ironically, we were just babbling over there for like a half hour before we decided to actually start recording.
So we're going to continue babbling. Rich, you recently went to New York City.
I did.
Can you give us a quick synopsis?
Yeah, my wife and I she wanted to go away. She's on spring break. She still works. She's a school psychologist in the school district in Niagara Falls, so she wanted to get away. So she wanted to do a Broadway trip. So we went and saw 4 Broadway shows. We saw Wicked. We saw Six, which is about the 6 wives of Henry VIII, but it's a rock musical, kind of like in concert thing. We saw Cabaret in a cabaret style, like the Kit Kat Club, it's called. And then we saw Hadestown, which is still probably the best thing I've ever seen. So,
that's your favorite one.
That was even my wife. She was worried that she wasn't going to like it. That would be too dark, but it was just really, really good. It's based on a Greek tragedy, and it's not. They're not singing in togas or anything. It's modernized. I'm assuming it's supposed to be almost like they live in the French Quarter during the Depression.
Cool.
But the music's all very like that jazz, that Southern jazz style almost.
So 4 shows in 2 days?
4 shows in 3 days.
3 days. Plus walking around.
Lots
drinks,
of. Obviously
cool.
New York's famous for its food and restaurants, and then
you flew
bars.
You flew?
No, we drove.
Oh yeah.
That's not. It's 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's not. You just park. Get a parking garage. Once you're there, I don't drive once I'm there. Once I get to the hotel, I park the car, and then that's it.
That's ballsy, man. Can't do it.
Driving
I'd
the
have
city,
to fly and Uber
driving
everywhere.
in the city's not that bad. We've tried the price out if it's worth it to fly. We even looked at the train. We were going to do the train this trip. The train's longer. It takes like 8 hours on the train.
Yeah, so weird.
I wouldn't mind that but the problem was the timing of the train didn't work out. We wouldn't have been able to do. We went on like a cruise on like a Easter brunch cruise on the Hudson, and we wouldn't have been able to do the cruise to get the train because the train. We wouldn't have had time to get
and it's
back
at your will. You have your car at your will.
Yeah, so it's just easier for this trip. Was easier. One of these days, I don't really. You don't save that much time flying to New York, unless it's a work thing. If you have to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning because you have a meeting, sure. Right. But if you're, it just you end up spending all that time in the airport.
All right. Usually traveling's one day, a full day, not going to New York or somewhere a few hours away, but you waste a day going and waste a day coming back, and that kind of makes that last day or two dreadful.
What's the farthest you've ever driven for a vacation?
We drove to Daytona.
Okay.
And that was pretty
2
far.
days.
2 days, yeah. I think we drove. Oh, we stopped in Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
And it was just mayhem. We were, I think, just turned 21, or maybe not even been legal yet. Yeah. And it was a cool lifetime experience, to like the movies and stuff, kind of spring break. Good.
My dad
super good times.
was a Clark Griswold.
We
literally had a green station wagon and with a carrier on the roof, and we drove all the way to California.
Wow.
And I think I probably was in like 6th grade.
Being a kid, yeah.
But we always drove to Florida. My grandparents lived in like Fort Lauderdale, so we would drive down. Usually stop somewhere along the way, like either the Carolinas or Virginia. My dad would always break it up into 2 days, so we'd always do something along the way.
Yeah,
like my mom liked going to like. Where's Gettysburg? Not Gettysburg, Williamsburg. Where William and Mary colleges.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like a revolutionary village, the way it's set up. So my dad would always turn it into a trip, like not just 2 days in the car.
Yeah.
So
nice.
And then we'd always stay at my grandparents. Like it's like the typical Italian condo, like the Seinfeld's condo on the show.
In
you know.
Boca Vista.
Boca Vista. My grandparents lived in Winmore Village, like in it wasn't technically Fort Lauderdale. It was like it wasn't Poca Vista, but it was like something like that.
Vista.
It was something like that.
So close.
Bella Vista or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it was like it literally was all the old Italians down there.
Cliche.
You know.
Right.
It was pretty funny. So
Cool. Sounds cool. And then Easter just wrapped up. The Pope died.
yeah.
That was big news. I mean, not unexpected, I guess, but you know.
Oh, I mean, they thought he was gone a few months ago, right? When he had pneumonia.
That's what I said. Not a surprise, I guess, but the timing and everything. So
he was in his 88.
88, yeah.
He did pretty well then.
Right.
You know, so.
I don't know. I don't seem like a nice guy.
Yeah, I think in terms of most people feel like this guy was trying to.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that don't.
Oh yeah, right.
That he's too whatever, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of people felt like this guy. He tried to.
Yeah.
He seemed like even like I saw heard on the radio or the TV or whatever that like he said he wanted like his burial all he wants on his tombstone or wherever they put his marker is just his name. He doesn't want like a bunch of
all the
crazy,
accolades
he
or whatever.
He said he tried to be a very
down to earth.
He tried to be as down to earth.
Seemed like it.
Yeah.
I mean, but people will disagree, and that's.
I mean, I don't.
That's
I mean,
fine.
that's just what
Right.
I'm just telling what the media told me. So
As a kid,
I didn't do my own research on
All right.
this. I just
listened
to
observing.
the news.
As a kid, my grandfather always had pictures of the Pope up.
Oh, really?
Pope John Paul II.
Yep.
And he also had a picture of Ronald Reagan on his wall. And
they both got shot.
And they
know.
have that in common. But he said, and I was too young to even understand it, but he said that he doesn't like Ronald Reagan, but Ronald Reagan's our president, and I'm going to respect the office of the president.
Sure.
So I've taken that with me throughout my life, whether I've liked the president or not liked the president. But right next to it was the Pope. And so I would imagine he felt the same way about the Pope. Whoever the Pope is, I'm rooting for him. So that's how I grew
that's
up.
an interesting thing. Like, I guess, it's the political climate, obviously, is kind of rough right now. But most of my life, I always tried to go by that. Like, I don't want to root against the guy or gal who wins. In any position, in any office. I mean, but sometimes you do just because you don't necessarily believe that they're doing what's best for the country.
Right.
I mean,
a certain
most of
issue
the time,
might...
I've always felt like they were doing what's best for the country.
Yeah.
There's been a couple that I don't think were doing what was best for the country.
Yeah, and there will always be ups and downs in that and whatever.
Some of them are not nice people.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Reagan seemed like a nice guy. I don't know.
How dare you?
I don't know.
How dare you say that about him? He was John Wayne-y.
He was. But
Very John Wayne-y.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Do you, like, when you think about guys like, I mean, John Wayne, like, now it's like almost like John Wayne should be canceled. I'm like, well, he was a man of his time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
I don't
saying he's
care.
a great
That's
person, but
retro
like,
canceling people,
right,
or
like,
actors or
it's
actresses.
like you
Come on.
can't, you can't like look at it from my mind. You can't judge somebody today's standard based on.
Oh, even myself, I look back at stupid shit I said and things I thought was funny when I was 15 versus 25 versus 35. It's like I look at that and I'm like, dude, it's so corny. That's not even slightly funny.
Right.
At the time I'm cracking myself up, but yeah, you change.
Yeah, there's definitely things that we said when we were in high school that.
Yeah, I could get called out for a million
words
things.
That we use that we'd be horrified if we heard if I heard my kids say those words.
Yeah.
Like what do you can't talk like that.
Yeah.
And words that we use, like not even the bad ones, like other words that we just threw around.
Oh yeah.
That really.
All right.
Yeah, like
it took me a while to stop saying hurtful. Certain words because I said it so casually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learning experiences, I guess.
But
I always roll with just be a nice person. Don't be an asshole. If someone's being an asshole to me or someone near me or an animal, I instantly hate you, and I'm gonna, stand up for.
That's a funny
thing.
But... Like I watch TV shows and movies, and I don't care how many people die. But if they kill a dog, I'm ready to riot. Like they can't. Don't ever kill the dog unless it's really, really, really important to the script, like John Wick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For 4 movies, I actually just watched the 4th one the other day finally, and I've been waiting to watch it, like waiting for it to come on because sometimes it's on Prime, sometimes you got to pay for it, sometimes it's free on Hulu, whatever. I finally caught it, watched it, and man, I did not like it as much as I wanted to.
Okay.
I'm rooting. I like Keanu Reeves, and I love the John Wick, the other ones.
Right.
This one just seemed like the fighting is awesome. It's choreographed. It's
Right.
expert shit. It's cool.
Yeah.
But it was just going on and on with the fights and the same
scene
thing.
is that the one where they have the scene on the stairs?
They have a fight on the stairs and
that
the
that
Arc
scene
de
drags.
Triumph.
I think I agree with you.
Yeah,
that movie drags.
Each
little
one
bit.
is a 10-minute fight.
Yeah, there's almost too many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just speaking of John Wick. I did want to touch on a subject today that happened to me. I fell down a rabbit hole today.
Okay.
I was earlier today.
Not the Easter Bunny rabbit hole.
It actually, no. But yeah, right. I was trying to think of is there any correlation to Easter, but not in the story other than rabbit hole. Do you remember Mr. Hooper?
Yeah.
From Sesame Street?
Yeah.
So I actually teared up today reading this article about Sesame Street and Mr. Hooper, and then just remembering Mr. Hooper. And I wonder how many people still remember Mr. Hooper. I mean, obviously not the kids that are watching it now, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, whatever,
Right.
but I wonder how far that went down. I mean, at my age, Mr. Hooper, I was in 2nd grade,
Right.
and what a devastating thing that was that Mr. Hooper passed away.
Right.
And so I'm reading the article, and the article's basically saying when the actor passed away, his character now on Sesame Street, I almost said Star Wars, his character on Sesame Street also couldn't make it for the episode, so they had to either write around him or write him off the show. The way they would on a sitcom. Instead, they went straight at it and told the kids the truth that Mr. Hooper passed away,
Yep.
and that he was the owner of the shop that was on the corner. I don't know. I haven't watched it recently. Didn't know if it's still there or not. But
They still call.
I think
they
it's
still call it
Hoopers.
Hoopers.
Yeah,
They still
Hoopers.
call it
Yeah.
Hoopers. Yep.
So anyway, I'm reading this article and just remembering that our teachers explaining, and then watching that separate.
Yeah.
It might have been they might have played it a few times because I read up today that it was shown on Thanksgiving, and so they must have repeated it on PBS or whatever it was on at the time. But
Did you watch the video where they're explaining to Big Bird that Mr.
Yeah.
Hooper's not coming back?
yeah, and Big
I
Bird's.
saw that maybe 2-3 months ago. It popped up in my feed.
Oh,
for
really?
some
That's
odd
what
reason.
happened today with this. It popped
Yeah.
up, and it was that's the rabbit hole I was in. I hit a couple links and
Because it's kind of like he says, well, Mr. Hooper's not going to be around. He's like, well, I'll see him tomorrow. He's like,
Yeah.
no, Big Bird,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not coming back.
They
and
had,
well, why? And I think they always tried to do that with Big Bird. That Big Bird, before Elmo, I think we're always supposed to perceive that Big Bird was like a kid.
the kid, yeah.
And Elmo was obviously Elmo's supposed to be. I know this because my kids were Elmo people. He was 5. I know Elmo's like 5 years
Yeah.
old. And I think Big Bird's supposed to be like a little
Right.
kid as well.
And yeah, I was just a memory, and I had tears well up and go down my cheek. I'm like, wow, Mr. Hooper. I haven't thought of that. I remember seeing the little guy, not a Weeble Wobble, but
Yep.
they had the little guy,
They had
the
'cause,
Mr.
yeah,
Hooper.
the one, if you had the Fisher Price,
Yeah.
if you had the
Sesame
Fisher Price
Street.
Sesame Street playset,
You open up the
one of the
doors
guys,
open.
Hoopers was there.
Yeah.
And there was the house thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think there was Big Bird's nest,
Ernie and Bert.
Ernie and Bert's apartment,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where Oscar's can was, and all that
Yep.
stuff. Yep.
Yeah, Oscar, you twisted the can and his head popped
Yep.
up. Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, that's on my list of things to discuss in this podcast,
Yeah.
Mr. Hooper.
I mean, I think Sesame Street was really I remember my mom. I loved Ernie and Bert. I still love Ernie and Bert.
Oh, me too.
I always thought Ernie and Bert were great.
I love it,
I had
yeah.
Ernie and Bert finger puppets, and in my basement where I have all my collectibles,
Yeah.
my Ernie finger puppet's still there.
Oh,
it's all
rotting away.
It's still there,
Yeah,
and I have Do you remember? Did you have finger puppets? Do you remember the finger puppets?
No.
They were about this big. This is before action figures.
Yeah.
And I had a ton of them. The only ones that I have
Are they
left,
plastic or cloth?
they were plastic.
Okay.
They were they're rubber.
Yeah.
And Ernie's had hair, like something that was hair.
Yeah.
And not just painted on. I don't know what happened to Bert. The Bert's long gone. I don't happen to the Bert. But I had tons of them. But the 3 that I have left are Ernie and Laurel and Hardy.
Nice. Yeah, and that's it. Now Laurel and Hardy's going way back.
I don't know why
not
I
of
have Laurel
our
and Hardy. I didn't even like Laurel and Hardy. I mean,
Right.
I'm an Abbott and Costello guy, not a Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
But
Either-
but I mean,
that's-
I remember Sesame Street. My mom loved Ernie and Bert. So if we were watching a Sesame Street, we would call to my mom, Ernie and Bert, or my mom would run in to see Ernie and Bert.
Ernie and Bert. My dad one time, he said Bernie and Ert. and kept saying Bernie and Ert, and no one said it and mentioned it. And I said, "You're saying Bernie and Ert," and he still what? And couldn't figure. It sounds so close. They couldn't figure out that he was switching the B and the E. Another subject I wanted to touch on was someone had brought up that today, or like these days now, us watching Seinfeld from nowadays, kids or people watching Seinfeld now, that's like growing up in the 80s watching I Love Lucy.
The time difference.
The time difference. Yeah. So, back when in the 80s, we'd think I Love Lucy was 100 years ago almost, or 50 years ago. And now that's what kids could be saying about watching Seinfeld now.
Right.
Is the same as that time distance. That is crazy.
Do you have, like, obviously I was a high school teacher, and I have two sons that are in their 20s.
Yeah.
They don't find Seinfeld that good of a show.
Yeah.
There are episodes they find amusing, but they don't think it's great.
It's because I'm sure that even this, just watching it now, the style is, he's got like a denim shirt tucked in, denim jeans, and just that whole late 80s. Was it 90 maybe? 90,
yeah, like
right around.
90, I think it ended around 98.
Yeah.
I think that's when that show ended.
It was great at the time.
It's funny. My wife loves Friends, so she still watches Friends because it's on all the time.
Friends and Seinfeld is...
And I have to say, in general, I would say about 80% of the Friends episodes have aged well. The same way I would think I Love Lucy has aged well. Yeah. I think you can watch some I Love Lucy and still laugh.
What do you think? Seinfeld aged well?
I don't think Seinfeld has aged as well.
The cynicism?
There are some episodes. I think anytime George Costanza was working for the Yankees is top upper tier television to this day, especially because what's his name, Larry David's doing the voice of George Steinbrenner.
Right.
I think any of this any of the stuff what they did when I think was good. I think most of the Kramer stuff. His physical comedy is good.
Yeah.
But there's some episodes that just don't work anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
that's how The Office is to me too. I hopped on The Office train way late. I at first didn't like it because I didn't know it. I just saw it and was like, I don't want to watch that. And then it became one of my favorite shows. Some of the early episodes are like, ooh, Michael's an asshole.
Younger people do not like sitcoms.
It's an outdated form of entertainment now.
Especially when you consider the amount of
I cling to it.
tracks.
I love sitcoms. Oh my god,
the laugh tracks are. So have you tried to watch any sitcoms lately?
Old sitcoms or
ones? No, current ones.
No.
We tried to watch. Like my wife is really, and I never liked the show when it was on, but I've grown to appreciate Big Bang Theory.
From a distance, I liked it because some of the subject with the Star Wars and comic book stuff I like, but I never did. I'm not a big.
Well, they did a spin-off, right? What was it called? Young Sheldon.
Yeah, Sheldon. I never liked that character
because that was more just filmed like a regular thing. But now they have like Sheldon's Brothers spin-off. I forget what it's called. Like Georgie and whatever's first wedding or whatever it's called.
Really?
And it's all sitcom. It's all laugh track, and it's. I don't even think there's a live studio audience. It's laugh track every 2 seconds.
Yeah,
and it's almost like the same copy and pasted laugh track.
They say that the laugh track that they use, the laugh tracks
are bad.
They're from the 50s.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of whatever that it's a popular laugh track, I guess, if you're in that and know about it, the editing and whatever. They so they're saying it's just weird to hear dead people laughing because they've been dead for. You have to expect that those people
have done some newer versions of it.
Right.
But it's funny because like when you watch Friends, clearly there's a laugh track.
Yeah.
They don't use it as much, and there was also clearly live audience laughing too. Like you can tell the difference, and especially like if Ross and Rachel kissed or something like. Woo, like it was stuff that, and even when you watch the old Seinfeld episodes, I don't feel like they use the laugh track as much. I say all the sitcoms now, my kids swear that it's a lot more, and I haven't sat down and done a mathematical
analysis. The sitcoms now have laugh tracks or not?
No, they all have laugh tracks, but they use them twice as much.
Oh, God.
Like one of these days I want to sit down and watch like a modern sitcom that has a laugh track.
I don't even watch them anymore. Tracks
versus, say, Mary Tyler Moore in the 70s.
Yeah.
And see how much they have grown to rely on.
Mary Tyler Moore was a good show back then.
I feel that show has held up pretty well.
Yeah, and I caught the reruns when I was a kid, but that was a good one show I never liked as a kid, but then grew to love as an adult was MASH.
Okay.
When MASH came on, I just felt like it was depressingly brown and dark green,
Right.
and it was on CBS on Sunday night, I think, and we had school in the
I
morning.
think so, maybe.
And it just, my parents would watch it, and it just sucked. But then, once I got the writing and I was more on the adult side, it's really good. That show was real good.
That's a show that had a laugh track too, but they filmed it without a studio audience.
Did it have a laugh track always?
As the show progressed and as Ellen Alda became more involved,
Yeah.
they really diminished that.
Yeah,
He really moved away.
the
And the show
whacking
actually became less funny because
Right.
he tried to be more,
Right.
like in many ways it's almost like I think if they did MASH
dramedy.
nowadays, it'd be filmed like The Office or like Modern Family was filmed
Yeah.
without a laugh track, and it would be a lot of commentary, like contributor shots, like how they talk to the camera, like on
Yeah,
Modern
yeah.
Family and The Office and a lot of those shows. I feel like the MASH, if it was done now, it would be like done in that vein with no laugh track.
Right.
It would just be a lot of like because
Yeah.
really most of what you saw was just essentially things that were happening. And then, but it would be cool to have Hawkeye sitting in a chair almost like it's a documentary,
Yeah.
as opposed to. But I agree with that. I kind of got bored with MASH, and then now that when I rewatch it, I do enjoy it.
I don't see it on ever anymore, but
It's still on, I think, on like our whatever Channel 5 is on
yeah,
Spectrum.
I'm
or
sure you could find it.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
We
What's your
TV.
favorite? What's your favorite sitcom ever?
Oh, that's a tough one.
We got one choice.
God, I'm on a spot with this.
Well,
one.
you could say what you could flesh
Let
it
me
out
list
here.
a couple.
Because I'll tell you mine while you think.
You go
I'll
first,
go. My ultimate favorite has always been Happy Days.
Okay.
Love the Fonz. Another one that doesn't age well at all. It's so the jokes and the laugh track and the cheesiness is so bad, but I still love it. Like I don't care. WKRP in Cincinnati. That one is one of my favorite. That's always on top as far as the writing, and the comedy is funny still. That's pretty good. I don't know. Those are my two that just jump out at me.
I guess I'm going to list a couple. I think I would go with Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah, good choice.
I also like WKRP because it reminded me a lot of Mary Tyler Moore
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. Like, it was almost like instead of a news TV station, it was a radio station.
Yeah.
And obviously WKRP has some iconic moments Thanksgiving turkey drop, and some of the other ones are just great.
My favorite's
Lonnie Anderson.
Barney Miller. Barney Miller, I thought.
Barney Miller.
Barney Miller's my number one.
Barney Miller is an underappreciated. Like, I'm surprised
Barney
you don't
Miller's-
see it.
Yeah. Barney Miller. Anyone listening or watching this that has never seen Barney Miller, watch it. It is good.
Barney Miller was.
Sorry to
great,
interrupt you. I
and
thought of
it's-
that one was.
Yeah, and that one was really kind of it was a comedy, but it was very cutting edge too.
Yeah.
And it had one of the greatest television themes of all time.
Yes.
Like I had
Yep.
that. I think I had it on my phone
The
for
bass.
a while on my I had because I
Right.
like that kind of music anyway. So I think I definitely had it on.
I love that show.
I mean, there was some great acting on that
Yeah.
stuff. People that were on that, but I guess. If you had asked me 10, 15 years ago, I would have said Seinfeld without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think right now the one that I watch the most that I still enjoy and I think it's quotable and I think it has held up probably is Friends. My wife and I love to watch Friends. She always
People
has it on
love it.
Nickelodeon at night and she loves to watch it. We quote it all the time.
People love it. I watched it, but I never loved it. Or I don't really care.
It when it was popular. I think I grew to appreciate it more. The fact that I think so many young people like it, and I think like when you go back and you think of all 6 of those people, they were never better anywhere else doing anything. But when those 6 people were together, I think that was, and they all really.
I should appreciate it for
they
that.
really
Yeah,
looked out
you're
for
right.
each other too, which I think I appreciate a little bit of the. There are some things on that show that have been aged well, but it still feels like it's still a pretty. My wife and I watch and joke about like, well, why don't you just use your cell phone? And like obviously they didn't really have the cell phones yet. So, but it's funny when you watch a show like, well, just call on your cell. Like so many things on old sitcoms could be avoided if people had cell phones.
What about Sopranos? Were you a fan?
Okay, I have a love-hate relationship with
They say that's the
any
greatest
of the
TV
Italian gangster things.
show. Yeah.
Growing up in our city with a history of gangsters and knowing that as an Italian, my father he appreciated The Godfather, but it wasn't like in our house, we didn't watch The Godfather. My dad did not like Sopranos.
Didn't revel in
He didn't
it
really
at all.
like. He didn't like Wise Guy. He didn't like any of the Wise Guy stuff where Italian American gangsters were celebrated.
Yeah.
Because he just knew too many of growing up in the city during that time frame when there were those types of
Right.
characters. My father just so because we just never and it's I can appreciate The Godfather and Casino and
Yeah.
Goodfellas and The Sopranos. All of those I can respect, but I don't watch those shows regularly. Although Sopranos I enjoyed the most out of all of them.
Out of
Of
all the
anything
movies and
gangster
everything,
related, Sopranos I do like because
That's
there was
cool.
also a lot of funny stuff on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Where there were a lot of lighter episodes.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And the
Some
acting's
stuff.
tremendous too.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd watched it over Christmas break like episode a night right over Christmas. It
So
was
of
pretty-
those types dramatic shows, what's your favorite dramatic show?
See, now Goodfellas, I liked it, but it's outdated. I just talking about
Yeah.
the cell phones made me think of that.
Right.
They were using cell phones, but they didn't. Every call, they'd have their phone number.
Right.
Weird stuff like that. I'm just noticing things.
Right.
So and it seemed a little dated. But the serious stuff, I don't even know if I have.
Like that type of show.
Yeah, like I liked with all the gangster stuff. I liked Goodfellas was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was a good one. And
I liked Casino a lot.
Yeah, they're all. I liked most of those
Yeah.
those movies.
Casino and Goodfellas are both cool, but I think out of all of those, The Departed's the best one.
The which one?
The Departed.
Oh, really? I
I
didn't
can
like
watch
that
The
at all.
Departed anytime.
I was reading on that something the other day about The Departed, and I thought like this. I got to watch it again.
I love The Departed.
I gotta watch it again.
I like that one a lot.
People love it, and they love it so much. It's like I gotta sit down again and give it a good. Like I watched The Untouchables, and I thought that sucked, but it could be because it was outdated. The Robert De
I used to
Niro,
love The Untouchables,
the newer
and I
one.
watched it maybe like 3-4 months ago, and it didn't hold up. There's two scenes there's some scenes in The Untouchables that are great. When they get on the horses and on the bridge, when they stop the whiskey truck and everything,
yeah.
when they're like riding, we all got to go sometime, and they're riding the horses. The music's incredible. The theme from The Untouchables is a really good theme song.
I don't remember it offhand.
When Sean Connery gets killed, it's really good.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen it. But, I mean,
like
Sean
30
Connery's amazing.
30 years ago.
Sean Connery's great in that movie. He won an Oscar for that, and he deserved it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think
Didn't-
I
it
like
just
Kevin
didn't hold up.
Costner, but yeah.
But there's another one. Maybe I got to watch
Yeah,
it again. but-
no, I agree with you. I think Untouchables is, first of all, it's so historically
Was that Brian
wrong.
De Palma?
What was that?
Brian De Palma.
Brian De
is
Palma,
that-
yeah.
yeah.
Like, it's a great movie, but I don't think it's hold up as well as it could have. But
Yeah.
it's shot that scene with the baby going down the stairs.
Yeah.
That scene is an iconic filmmaking scene.
Like, don't do this.
Yeah, like the way they did it, so I think I appreciate The Untouchables almost more for the filmmaking
Yeah.
side than say the story.
Okay.
Like some of the some of the cast is
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
but Costner's not great at it.
I'm not a fan of Kevin Costner. What's in state of emergency? Tell me about Emerge. What is any current events that you can?
I'm really excited that we've got, we thought originally we'd just be like podcasts and we would have like 13 podcasts that come in every single week, and that model has evolved. You don't come in every week. You come in, as your
Once
schedule
yep.
allows.
Yeah.
And so we've moved to kind of that type of schedule. People come in when they need. We have a lot of people that come in maybe only once a month or twice a month, or they come in and they produce multiple podcasts a day. Like, they'll come in, they'll produce 2 on one day, and then they'll break them up. And then we're up to about 4 or 5 photographers that use the building pretty regularly that have booked events now.
Cool.
So we're starting to get more and more photography events. And even some other little events too. Like someone I know is going to host a party here in
Cool,
this
yeah.
room. We move everything out of the way. We just set up some tables.
Yeah, it's a fun,
and,
big fun spot, and
yeah.
there's a studio in the back, and
Yeah. No, there's definitely like some growth, and we're trying to do some. And then even just my media production. The new service that I started to provide is those legacy videos.
oh yeah,
Where I like this concept, and we've done 2 so far. Where like I go to your house and I sit with you and say grandma or your dad or somebody like that, or your aunt, and you just sit and ask him or her questions, and you guys
Right.
talk about how'd you end up on, when did you move to Willow Avenue?
Definitely
Why did you
worth
end up,
it.
and how'd you meet how did Grandma meet
Yeah.
Grandpa? And you just record it. And you hear all these stories about, like when they went camping or whatever.
Such
and you
an
record
easy
all
thing
these
to do
stories
for
for
them.
posterity.
Yes, absolutely.
know.
That's such a good gift. Even if you could do it for your whole family.
Yeah.
Do it just like you said in that example is interview.
Yeah, no one's
your
going to
grandma or
watch this
whatever.
except the family. It's not going to be
Right.
on YouTube. I mean, you could put it on YouTube.
You could put on
and
YouTube privately, and anyone.
But
you
it
could,
used to know everybody can say, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. You've lost people in your life.
yeah, and I
you
watch
kinda,
YouTube
like,
videos that of my
and you
dad
say-
cooking hamburgers
And
still.
like, and do you ever have that thing like, what did he sound like?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, now you can
absolutely.
go back
I can go
and
yep.
yeah.
I'm so glad that we did a little. I forget what it was. It might have been 4th of July. My dad just
Right.
said Happy 4th of July. He was cooking burgers, and he said a little something goofy and flipped the burger, or whatever, and that was it. And I'm so glad I kept that, and I
Right.
put it on YouTube. I would have lost it on whatever hard drive I had it on. So
Yeah, like-
that's always floating on my YouTube account that I know I can go back to.
So yeah, it's this new service we started, and I've done 2 so far, and I got a couple more scheduled.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
great.
trying to keep the cost down because I realize it's not a it's a couple hours of production at your house and probably another hour and a half to edit. So my starting price for the basic package is like $150.
Right. Well worth
And,
it.
I think
Well
that's
worth it. Cool.
my one friend, woman I work with on some other projects, she's like, you got to raise the price. That's too cheap. But I don't want to make it. I want to make sure the stuff that I do is so everybody can afford to do it. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want somebody
nice.
not to do it because, well, it seems like a lot of money, and then they didn't do it, and then they're like, oh, I should have done it. Like, so
Yeah.
I'd rather be a little bit cheaper, make a little bit less money, and get it, almost like volume. I'd rather do more
Yeah.
of them, even if it gets to the point where I got to hire somebody to help me do it. I would love to get to be like, that would be a regular source of income.
Cool.
We're just doing those. And besides, we still do a lot of video conversions. Like, I got like 3 bags of videotapes at the house that I'm converting for people to digital. So we
Great.
still do that. And then I have a bunch of video production work because the company also installs security cameras, and I have an exciting new venture for myself, which isn't really related to merch. I got another job.
What's this?
So
Really?
I grew up doing a lot of theater. And I started. We have a theater podcast, and I started talking to my friend who does that one. And I talked to somebody, and someone's like, you should get back into theater. And I don't really want to be on stage, but I always loved building the sets. So I kind of put a resume together, and I applied for. I threw it out to some people, and within like a day, I got an email back from Shakespeare in the Park.
Cool.
And I'm gonna be working on their build crew to build the
That's cool.
stage and the sets for
That's
Shakespeare
awesome.
in the Park. I'm getting paid, and I joked with my mom and my wife. I'm like, I'm working in real theater. I finally
Yeah.
got a job in the real theater, not just Niagara Falls High School theater. But no, it's not
Cool.
it's not a full-time job for months and months. It's a short-term thing. I come in for about 2-3 weeks.
Cool.
And I get to work with all these amazing, like, Shakespeare Park's coming up on their 40th anniversary. It's the second oldest public Shakespeare organization in the country. There's only one older than it, and you can guess which one it is. Central Park, Shakespeare
Yeah.
in Central Park. That's the only one that's older than the one we have in Buffalo.
Cool.
And
Nice.
it's legendary. So, like, it's a
Congrats, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
right
I
up
mean,
your
I'm-
alley.
yeah,
That's
I'm
geez.
excited about
if
it.
you see what
yeah.
he's done here, that's
Yeah.
definitely that.
I think I in my real resume I did like a portfolio and I put a bunch of pictures of the building.
Oh,
and,
cool.
So I don't know. I
Great,
mean,
man.
like,
Cool. Can't wait to
I
hear
just
about
want
it
to keep
again.
moving. I want to keep moving.
Yeah, keep moving forward.
Thanks for asking. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Well, thanks for being on today when the camera's on you more, and
Sorry,
and for
I keep the
listening to
camera on
us
me so
babble.
much.
Perfect.
What else do we got?
That was the end. That was the end of my discussion that I have written here. Yeah.
So let's get back to the TV shows. So, like, because I'm interested in, because I think you and I have a lot of weird overlaps with TV shows.
Yeah.
Like Barney Miller, like,
Barney
damn,
Miller's
I gotta go
badass.
find that on like Netflix or something.
I like television theme songs like Sanford and Son.
Do you have them in your phone like I do?
No, I have CDs. I have a
Okay.
collection of CD.
You have CDs.
It's
What's
there's
your
a 5
favorite?
disc.
Okay, let's just do TV songs then.
Okay.
What's your favorite? What do you think's the best TV show's theme song of all
Ooh.
time?
The best. Okay.
Or you can give me 3.
All right. My favorite is could be Who's the Boss.
Okay.
That's a brand new life around the bend. That one's good. Or what's the one for Growing Pains? Is Growing Pains is maybe my
I don't even
favorite.
know. Who was on Growing Pains?
Growing Pains is Alan Thicke and
Oh,
Kirk
that one.
Cameron.
Okay. I don't
And
think I ever
it's-
watched that show.
It's a guy and a girl singing, and they're both like going back and forth. I forget how it goes.
I don't think I
But
ever
it's a
watched
good one.
that show. I don't
Yeah.
think I mean, I know what that show is, but I don't think I ever watched it.
I liked.
Was that like an ABC sitcom?
It's I think it was might be, I don't know. Yeah, probably ABC.
Like
It was a Tuesday nighter.
Didn't ABC have like a thing for what they like their must? It wasn't must.
Yeah,
see
it was
TV. That was
ABC's
NBC.
Friday night was
Friday
their
night
TGIF.
Yeah, TGIF.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
then all the shows around there,
Yeah,
like
that might have been before TGIF. That was more Full House and Family Matters and.
right. They were all,
I like Mr. Belvedere. That was.
that one was kind of fun. I like
That
one.
was Leon Redbone,
Yep.
where he streaks on the China.
Yeah,
Never
that was a
mattered
good one.
before. You
I
know?
could not stand the one with God, what is it? The one that's in San Francisco.
Too Close for Comfort.
No. The one with the one that the Olsen twins were the little kid.
Oh, Full House.
Well, I hated that show. I couldn't. I don't know. Every once in a while, you meet somebody and they like Full House. And I'm like, I don't think we can be friends anymore. I
Yeah,
just
no,
can't
that's
stand.
warranted.
I just
Yeah,
couldn't stand
that's-
that. That show was
that-
so poorly written and
and
acted.
acted and everything. But those are some of those. Like Barney Miller was good. Good acting, good everything. The writing is great. The jokes are funny still. But that kind of like popcorny, spoon feed you, Family Matters, Urkel.
Right.
It's not exactly. It's not Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. I liked, in terms of, like, again, other sitcoms I watched, I always liked both Newhart shows.
Oh yeah, I didn't really know Newhart the therapy one. Is that what he was?
That's the older one. That was
Yeah.
just Newhart. Bob.
yeah,
That was the Bob
Newhart show. Yeah,
So
it looks
when I
funny.
was a kid, we would go to church at St. Charles and to the 7:30 mass. And I swear to God, like Shana Na was on
Sunday
on
nights.
like Saturdays at like
Saturday
7:30,
I thought.
in syndication or something. It might have been
Okay.
on Sundays too.
Yeah,
But I
Sunday
remember,
night
like,
was a
sometimes
live
Shana
one.
Na would be on, and we would leave
Shana Na.
and then go to church at St. Charles, which was like about a half an hour mass. We'd get home, and I think we would watch Mary Tyler Moore, and I probably have the dates wrong because I was little.
Yeah.
Mary Tyler Moore, Bob Newhart, Rhoda,
Yeah.
and then I think we would watch like Carol Burnett.
Those are CBS. A lot of CBS
My mom and
in
dad
there.
were big
yeah.
CBS people, so we watched a lot of Carol. Before my dad passed, the fall before COVID, I bought my mom and dad tickets to Carol Burnett when she came to the casino.
Oh, wow.
And
Cool.
so like they got to see
her?
Carol Burnett,
Oh,
which
that's cool.
was pretty cool.
Cool.
And then I'm trying to think what else like from when I was a kid, but I don't know. Like
I love sitcom songs. I don't know anything now. The
yeah.
songs now I wouldn't
yeah,
know.
they're
But I love a good like sitcom trivia.
I like all those sitcom. I like all the TV shows themes that were by like Post, like Mike Post, like the Rockford File theme and like the Hill Street Blues theme.
Oh, yeah.
Like any of the instrumental podcast
Right.
themes, I always loved those. Like Magnum PI's theme, I still love that theme.
Taxi had a good instrumental.
Taxi was a very good. That was Bob James.
I don't
Bob
know.
James was the artist. I had a CD of
Really?
Yeah.
Instrumental?
yeah, he's just an
Yeah.
instrumental jazz musician, kind of jazz, like jazz fusion or whatever they could
Right.
be. I think he was a piano player.
That's a real cool.
I think that's Bob
Instrumental.
James. I probably got this wrong, and somebody's gonna tell me I'm wrong, but I swear to God, it was Bob James.
My buddy gets sad. Like when I said MASH sounds sad, he said Taxi sounds sad to him.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, the
It was a
cab
weird-
going
if
over
both
the.
those themes. Well,
going
you know
over
where
the
the MASH
bridge.
theme song came from, right?
Yeah, what's it called?
It's the theme from the movie.
Oh yeah, what is
But
that?
in the movie, it's called. The song is called "Suicide Is Painless."
Yeah, that's-
And in the movie, it's sung. But for the TV show, they got rid of the "Suicide Is Painless,"
Yeah.
but they kept the theme. I know that because I played it on the clarinet in band in 6th grade. We didn't sing about depression and suicide,
Right.
but I remember playing it in 6th grade. And then what was the other one we said? Oh, and Taxi definitely has kind of a
Melancholy.
yeah.
Swing
Taxi
to
was a
it.
good sitcom.
Yeah, Taxi was
We
good.
didn't even think about that one.
Right.
I think
Yeah,
I've
Taxi's good.
rewatched some episodes of Taxi and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is good.
I wonder because you think Danny DeVito, he's still around.
Still,
He must have been like 11 years old when
Right,
he did that
and he's
show.
still jumping around and doing cartwheels and shit. He's got a motor
and
on
obviously
him.
he looks old now, but like
Yeah.
that show was on in the early 80s.
Yeah,
And,
late 70s, I'd say, right?
I mean, well, Tony Danza,
Tony
Mary Lou
Danza.
Henner,
Yep.
Judd Hirsch, Christopher
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, who's gone, Christopher
Lloyd.
and then the guy who was the
Kanicki on
Kinnick,
Grease.
he passed away.
Yeah,
Jeff Conway.
Yep.
Jeff Conway passed away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good show. I remember watching that show with my brothers. My brother Tom.
That was a
loved
good show.
Taxi,
Yep.
that was a good show.
Cleverly written, not the cheesy. I mean, there's still cheesy jokes in that, but not the stuff I see on that now seems pretty. It doesn't interest me. I don't really.
I still laugh out loud that episode where they're trying to help Reverend Jim out, so they take him to the DMV to take his driver's test.
Yeah.
And he starts cheating. Have you seen this skit?
I gotta
So
remember.
he's sitting there and he's like, oh, he had that thing,
Yeah.
and he's like, and he yells over to the guys, and they're all there with him, and he's like, he goes, what does the yellow light mean? And he's like, and Jeff Conway goes, slow down. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like,
Right.
what
Oh,
does?
Right.
And it just gets, and he keeps saying, slow down. But it's like an Abbott and Costello routine. It just keeps going and going.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
Google that, go down the rabbit hole of that
All right.
routine, and it is still, to this day, I think it's almost as funny as the turkey drop from WKRP.
They said that was based on a real turkey drop, not to the extent, but it happened. It was based on a real event, and they took it, hyperbole crazy, but that was a good one.
I remember having a conversation. My dad loved funny stuff, but he said the problem he had with that one, he's like, why? What were people going to do with real turkeys anyway? Like, he's like, they're not going to cook them. And he's like, what are they going to? Because my dad was a barber. He's like, what are these people going to do? Bring the live turkey to the butcher shop? Not barber, he was a butcher.
Yeah, that's
Bring
funny.
it to the butcher shop and say,
Right,
kill the
right.
turkey.
I never even
and,
have thought of that.
Like,
Yeah,
he's like,
right.
what are they going to do with the live turkeys? But why are they giving away
That's
live
funny.
turkeys? No one's like killing them. Like,
That's funny. That's
but
good.
obviously it's funny because they're dropping like bags of wet cement.
Yeah,
like
that is
And then
good.
what's his Jordan jumps is what did he say, like, from on my
I didn't know. I swear I didn't
thought
know.
turkeys could fly.
Right.
And everybody thought Lonnie Anderson looked pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Lonnie. They said about her, she was supposed to be a ditzy blonde, and she said, let's try a smart blonde. Let's do something different. And they're glad they went with that instead of the ditzy blonde.
and I think that's probably led to a lot of success for her because
Yeah.
I feel like it was. If you think about it, it's funny because, like, yes, for its time, but the fact that she was a powerful. She was powerful in her own way. She used her
Yeah, she was good.
sex appeal for her benefit. It kind of, it's funny because it reminds me. I just kind of popped in my head. It kind of reminds me of the redhead on Mad Men who used her
Oh, yeah, Christina Hendricks.
Yeah, Katie.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
The
I
way
just
she
know
uses her sexuality on that show. It's almost.
Yeah.
It's almost.
I want to
like the
watch
same.
that show. I never watched it.
I rewatched that show. I used to watch it kind of when I would remember it was on when it was on AMC. But I rewatched it on like one of those live channels that are on like my TV.
Pluto or one of them ones, or
I didn't even know which one it was on. But I've been rewatching it whenever I catch it. So I think I don't think I watched it in order. But
worth watching, like worth starting.
I think John Hamm's like one of the best actors.
Yeah, cool.
And he's got a new show that I'm just started watching.
Oh, I saw that. Like
on Apple.
A short, like a 6 episode
like
one
that,
or something.
Yeah. Like he's like a, whatever, some type of business guy that's got way too much money and power.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He gets fired and then I think he starts stealing.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be
he becomes a robber.
He's
right?
robbing from all his neighbors. Like, it's
Yeah.
basically he's breaking into their houses and he's
Right.
robbing from his.
It's probably good. He does good. He makes good
show.
choices. I think that would be a good show.
Yeah.
Are you an Evil Dead fan at all?
Evil
Evil
Dead.
Dead
That's,
2?
What's his name?
Bruce Campbell and
I have
Sam
seen
Raimi?
the originals, but
So
not for
good.
a couple of years now.
worth checking out again. That's one of my favorite.
I thought
things,
that those
Evil Dead.
those are very. I love that they're very tongue in cheek. They don't take
Yeah,
themselves too
that's
seriously.
what that's the.
That's. I remember the one where he ends up with a chainsaw for a hand
Yeah.
or something, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like I just think that's.
He's
great.
using like the hand gets possessed and then he's using it. It's
Oh, I
almost
forgot
like
about the hand being possessed. Yeah.
like Three Stooges kind of
Right.
humor. It's the hands coming at him and he's going like this and the hand's trying to get him. It's like that shit.
He's really funny. Like he's
Yeah,
a
he's a
good
good
actor.
guy.
I mean, obviously he got kind of typecast as that.
Oh
character.
yeah, and
He
he
was
rode
on-
that pretty good. He still is.
He was on a show called The Burn Notice.
Yep, Burn Notice,
And he was really good on that show.
Briscoe-
He was
Briscoe
really,
County
it was kind
Jr..
of a lighter, like a.
Yeah.
He was still comedic.
He was
but
like
it
a Hawaiian shirt guy.
Yeah, he was
right?
like a
Yeah.
retired FBI guy that was friends with
Yeah.
the retired the CIA guy got burned, and he was like, so he was helping him out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously he was kind of the comedic relief
Comic,
for that
yeah,
show.
yeah.
But he was great on that show, and I was glad he got because he probably made more money doing that TV show
Probably.
than he probably ever made.
Oh
doing,
yeah,
like,
he
Evil
made
Dead
like
movies.
I don't even think they made money.
What's
I think
his,
he
Ash something.
Ashley J. Williams.
Yeah, okay.
Ash.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he work on like a department store or something?
Yeah, S-Mart.
Yes.
Shop
okay.
Smart.
See, I remember
Shop
it. I
S-Mart.
haven't seen it in a few years.
It's good.
I like those.
Yeah,
I like
you know
that
enough.
movie.
That's pretty good.
Shaun of the Dead's a great Shaun
Yeah, I
of
like
the Dead
those.
is a great film. I
Yeah.
like that style of comedy
Yep.
films.
You
That
like
don't-
Zombieland?
Zombieland, is that the one with
Uh,
that's the one with Woody
Harrelson and
Bill, I like the first. I guess there's a sequel, right?
yeah.
I haven't seen the sequel, but I like the first
Same
one
thing.
that Bill Murray is just pretending to be a zombie.
Right.
And then they actually, of course, another
Yes.
spoiler. I've ruined it for
Spoiler
someone.
alert.
That they kill.
That was
Bill
15 years
Murray.
ago.
Like you killed Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I think that's a
That
good
was
movie.
good. Yeah, that was
Like
good.
that's kind of a fun movie.
Yep.
Like there's
I like some of those zombie movies are pretty good.
I'm kind of
that
sick
genre.
of zombie stuff in
Yeah,
general.
it's
It's
the
like-
serious stuff is okay enough. Like Walking Dead, I gave up on after how many years? I don't know. There was in the last year of it, and I finally went, okay, I'm done.
now they have all these spinoffs.
Oh, there's
and
I guess
they're
if you
in
love
New
it,
York, and they're in
Yeah.
here and they're there, and I'm just like,
right?
I don't know, I guess
France. I think
it's,
they're
to
in
me,
France.
It's just tired. It's just tired.
It's like CSI.
Yeah, how many of those
colon,
shows?
CSI Miami, CSI California, New York. All right.
Have you seen The Pit?
The Pit. No.
It's on Max.
Pit.
It's stars Noah Wiley or whatever his name is from ER.
Oh yeah.
He plays a doctor on this show. It's not the same doctor, but it's an emergency room show, so like ER.
Yeah.
He's the chief of the ER. But the thing on this show is that it's each season, they've only done one season so far, is only 1 day. Is 1 day. So each episode is like 1 hour. So like the first season
Oh, wow.
was only like a 10-hour day. Like it was an hour.
Oh, that's pretty
of what
cool.
happened during that, and it's almost
Wow, that's a
like
good idea.
it's almost like in real
Yeah, I never
time.
heard that.
Like it's only been out and it's doing very well. Like Bryan Cranston's daughter's on it.
It's on Apple TV.
It's on No, it's on Max.
oh, Max,
I watched
okay.
that on Max, and I
haven't heard of that.
watched it like 1 week at a time. Like I actually got back to like old school watching it like one episode a week, and I couldn't wait for and it's really. It's doing very well, just under word of mouth. But in general, I think
I
HBO
never heard
HBO puts together some because that's obviously HBO.
Yeah.
They call it Max now, but
Yeah,
the
I got
HBO
it.
shows are always pretty darn good.
I want to see that. I think it's called Paradise. It's got the dude from. It's going to be hard to explain. He was the president. He's a younger guy, and his chief of whatever, like security, has
Oh,
to
I
take
know what you're
somebody
talking
out.
about. Yeah.
I forget their name. I forget
Yes.
both guys' names.
It's a weird concept. Like
It's
they
not what you
find the
think it is.
The former president Ted. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird show because it's part murder mystery, but it's also part sci-fi.
Yeah, they said it went a different direction than you're expecting.
You
It's
didn't
supposed to be
realize-
good.
Yeah, like there's.
I know it's
don't
called
wanna-
Paradise.
I'm definitely not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, what? Like it was like one of those moments. I was like, wait, what?
Oh,
the hell
okay. That's
happened?
what I heard about it. Yeah.
Like
okay.
so, it's not what you
Cool.
think it's going.
I want
to
to
be.
check it out. Is it worth watching one of them? Or
Yeah, it's one of those things I started watching and then I kind of like forgot about it because I got busy and I have to go back and finish it. There's a lot of shows like that.
oh, there's so
though. Like,
much. There's 1,000.
Yeah,
There's
I-
1,000.
I forget what I'm
free
watching
channels,
sometimes.
subscription channels. I got so much now. I watch the same boring lineup. Curse of Oak Island.
Yep.
Are you a fan of that at all?
I have seen. I've
just
seen some
don't
things. They're still
forget-
there.
yeah,
They've
forget
never
it.
found
Just
anything except some nails.
Forget
and
that
some
it
coins.
even exists. Forget I even said it. Because it's torture. I torture myself every week, and I have high hopes every week, and
All those shows to me, I say those shows are all Gilligan's Island.
Yeah,
They're not. They're not.
No.
If Gilligan's Island, if they get off
Gilligan's Island came up with some good inventions. They need to find a Gilligan's Island
but
radar
at the end
or
of
some
Gilligan's
shit.
Island, you knew that what was going to happen. They were going to get stuck on the island,
Yeah.
right? So my thing is like, if Oak Island they find the Templars thing, then the show's over because they just proved that whatever they're looking for, because they're looking for like
Gold, like 4 different deposits of gold.
But isn't it like the Templars? Or
Yeah, it
something like
could
that?
be. There's a
it
new twist every week, so who knows? Well, Rich, thank you very much for being the guest
That
today,
was
and I
fun.
appreciate it. Yeah, we get to talk about babbling on. We
Yeah,
did
there's
it.
an empty chair there. I
we
just
did a
brought the
damn
empty
good
chair
job.
that no one's sitting in.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
somebody soon. And we'll see you in the next episode of NiagaraStuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.